Hey everybody, how you doing on this fine Sunday evening? We're ready for the playoffs. This should be a fun night to talk about the fact that Inter Miami won, and now the same team that we beat, we get to play again. So lots of learning that maybe was done on the field that we can kind of discuss a little bit here on the show. So thanks everybody for joining me, but as always, I don't do this by myself. So everybody say hello to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing tonight, Ed?
Peter Brown, how you doing, my friend? My internet's slow for some reason, so bear with me.
Yeah. So, how was your weekend so far?
Good, man. With that huge win,
Made it
hopefully
better.
it's a positive. Hopefully, it's a positive for what's to come.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, always a win makes it better. So that's good. So we'll talk about that. Also, I mean, I've got some, we can talk about Messi winning the Golden Boot, and then this past game was basically like a trial run for the playoffs. So we can get into that. And then I actually had a thought that we can maybe talk about a little bit is like, who's the better coach here? Who learned in this game more, and who we think can actually learn from that game and implement it in the next game? So we can get into all that, get your thoughts and stuff like that as we move forward. But before we go too far, let's say thank you to our sponsor, and that is Caneswear. So go to Caneswear in Davie, Florida, on University Drive, just south of 595. They have the messiest wall in all of South Florida, where you can get the best deals on your Inter Miami gear. All those Messi shirts. They just got tons of Messi shirts. Any Messi shirt you want, they got probably. So lots of good gear. Support a local company, a local brand down here in South Florida. You want to support us, support them. If Davie's too far for you to drive, go to caneswear.com. All orders over $99 ship for free. And if you want to leave a voicemail, you can do so by calling 786-474-4435. We have one voicemail already in the queue to get to in a little bit, but got a few people in chat. Let's say hello to the few people that I see here in the chat, and then we'll get through it all. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs is here. One World, One Goal, as always, is here. Louis Rodriguez is here as well. Kevin Gonzalez shouting out FC Dallas. We can come back to that. And Ash Pretem is here as well. So obviously some more people will jump in the chat as we go, and we'll talk to you guys and let you guys help drive the show. But fun, the decision day is always fun in MLS when they have all the East Coast teams playing at 6 p.m. or was it 6 p.m. right, and then all the West Coast games happening at 9 p.m. makes it fun, makes it exciting. I know it wasn't really an important decision day for us so much so because we're already in, right, but and it was more about who you're going to play, right? But I remember being on the a few years back where decision day was important. We got a tie, and other teams did things, and we made it into the playoffs just by the the hair on our chin. So decision day can be a lot of fun watching everything unfold. So that's I dig the way the MLS does that. So that's fun. Oh, I think Ed might be frozen. Are you there, Ed? He's muted for some reason.
Yeah, you put me on mute for some reason.
I think it's carried over from last week when you had that bad connection, and so I kept putting you on mute, and I haven't opened this program since last week, right? So I think that's what it was.
Oh, let's I guess. Well, I guess we'll find out, Peter. But yeah, dude. Where do we start?
Well, I mean, started the first half, I guess. That game. It started off. I mean, it easily at the end of the first half could have been 5-1. Nashville had so many chances. Rios Novo had probably his best game with Inter Miami. So many good stops. some luck involved as well with just maybe Nashville not having their shooting boots on, if you will. But it it could have been ugly. It really could have been ugly.
It could have. Inter Miami was, they were being totally dominated by Nashville. It didn't look good, man. And I was like, for most of that first half, we were being dominated. But then we surprised. And of course, the man of the hour, always doing what he does, his magic.
Yeah, hat trick by Messi. But going back to that first half, I mean, it just shows that they can do it. That Nashville can beat us. If Inter Miami is not switched on, obviously the tactics changed a little bit in the second half. They're pressing a little bit more. They had like one shot, I think, in the entire first half, or something like that. It was not many. So, it was bad. But yeah, like you said, luckily they figured it out. They turned it on. And in that situation, what do you think, Ed? Do you think Mascherano goes in there and has a really moving speech and really great tactics, or is it Messi that goes in the room and has the really good speech and grabs people by the collar and has some? I mean, I know he's not that kind of vocal person, but I'm just curious: does he raise a little hell in the locker room, or is that Mascherano that does that?
It seems to me, Peter, that it's mostly Messi, the one that's motivating,
calling the shots, right?
Players. If he's on fire, yeah, the team is on fire. So,
but
it looks like he's the real coach.
But I wonder, in the locker room, does he get on people's case and say, or is it just, hey, I lead by example? When he wakes up, the team wakes up, right? I'm not sure.
It's hard to know, man. I wish we could be a float.
Yeah, exactly.
In that dressing room.
But they definitely were a different team when they came out.
They did, and they totally dominated, and it was like nonstop, man. Once they got more goals in there, it just seemed like they were going to keep getting more. So it was awesome to watch.
Chris Arjun says Messi went in the room and changed tactics. Yeah, that's what I wondered. Is even if he doesn't get there and get vocal, does he go to the board and just go move the little magnets around? This is what we're gonna do, guys. This is what we're doing. So he moved magnets around. One World One Goal says she thinks that Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul are vocal, or maybe Boosie as he speaks English. Somebody said something at the half for sure. Exactly, somebody said something, but I'm just, yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs says, let it be clear. Let it be clear, we weren't losing to Nashville at half. We were losing to Javier Mascherano. Louis Rodriguez believes in Mascherano. He says Mascherano does all the talking and the leadership role. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, a lot of people think that, he's not really doing all the talking in there, but you never know, man. Like you said, we're not a fly in that dressing room, so hard to tell.
Yeah, people complimenting me on my hat. Thank you. The one thing I've noticed with Inter Miami is when they have their alternate jerseys, whether it be that aqua last year or the blue this year, I don't know. Are they more popular than the pink? They might be. People seem to buy the alternate jerseys and gear because this obviously was part of that, collection with the blue shirt. But they sell well. So, Louis Rodriguez says, "Just remember
it's all nice one, Peter.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, seems to be a bit of a delay on Ed. So. With your internet.
Yeah, my connection is that good. Yeah, hopefully it'll get better pretty soon. But yeah, man, just go ahead, Peter, till I catch up to you.
Eric Thomas is checking in now as well, so welcome, Eric. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs says last chance to win a trophy, and if Miami fails, then it's goodbye, Mascherano. Well, yeah, I mean for sure. Yeah, definitely. Some coaches have already been fired. Atlanta United fired their coach Ronnie Dale, whatever his name is. You know, I'm not good with names. And I was surprised.
What's his face?
Yeah, I was surprised with that one, just because he's won the MLS Cup. I know he had a bad season. He's won the MLS Cup with New York, so I thought they would give him at least, the half of next season to see if he could figure it out. A full off season with the team. I thought they would give him some time, but nope, time's up. They moved on, and I got a feeling Chris Armas could be in trouble too down in Colorado after some of his comments that he was making. Did not sit well with a lot of people when he's calling out the reporter. So they could see a change there. Who knows? And also DC United, you imagine they might be firing their coach because they won the spoon. So a new Weissman did not have to sit through getting the wooden spoon. Somebody had asked last week if it's a physical spoon. That'd be funny. That would be funny if they actually gave you a wooden spoon trophy. That would be hilarious. But no.
And you carve out the names of the teams on there,
Just like you do a real trophy.
Exactly. A big spoon.
Did your mom use the wooden spoon as the the way to beat you when you were a child and you did wrong?
My mom used whatever she could get her hands on. I mean, if it was cornflakes, she'd throw the cornflake box at me. A chair. I think. Yeah, spoons. You name it, Peter. Whatever. Yeah, she was one of those. Moms that would take her chancleta off.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She was a chancleta person, right?
Smash it with it. Yeah.
No, mine was
come back there like a.
Mine was a wooden spoon lady, and I mean, she didn't hit me with it that much because I was a good child, Ed. But my sister, man, she broke some wooden spoons on my sister.
Wow. Now, like I said, my mom with that chancleta, that thing would come back. It was like a boomerang.
Yeah.
She'd get it back and throw it again.
So maybe they should give out the chancleta award if you're the bottom of the table instead of the spoon.
Chancleta might be better, but the spoon will work too, man. Just carve out the name.
I'm curious. I'd have to Google what is the history behind calling the last place team, the wooden spoon winners.
And there's a good video we could make right there.
I mean, what's the history behind it? I could Google it right now, but I'm not. But I'm just curious. What's the history on the wooden spoon? Tangents. We got them. All right.
Yeah. Tons of them.
Anyways, Eric's saying something about what we were talking about earlier. I hate to say this, folks, but Mascherano is coming back unless he wets the bed and loses in the first round again. If we make it to the second round, unfortunately, Mascherano will be back. And that's conversation we've had a lot over recent times. And I said that if we make it to the second round, you could look at this season as Mascherano took the team one step further than, say, Tata did. So it could be considered an incremental success. Not the success we want, obviously, but it could be viewed as a success by somebody. And then you might say, well, he got us this far. Let's see what he could do next year. Now, I don't agree with that. I'd love to see him gone. Unless, of course, we win the cup. Like, look, if we made it far in the playoffs or if we win the actual championship, he deserves his job. And even if he didn't do it and Messi did all the work, he still deserves his job at that point.
Yeah, but I would want us to win it just because I'd love to see Busquets and Jordi Alba go out, as champions. That would be ideal. But yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. This year, much more tough than last year.
So, Mr. Krabs did the Google search for us and says, after a quick Google search, there is a physical wooden spoon they give to teams. Then he continued. One World, One Goal says, Battered Herons Googled it. It was an English private school tradition. Worst place gets a wooden spoon. So it's the Brits. All right. So good job on you guys doing the research for us, or Battered Herons doing the research for us.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah.
So since we're talking about the coach, I dropped this question: who is the better coach? BJ Callahan, who's the coach from Nashville. People liked him when he was with the U.S. national team. He's done a pretty good job of turning Nashville around. Because they weren't really, like Hani Mukhtar was having a bad year before BJ came on, and he's your star player. So, BJ's done a pretty good job. We already talked about Mastrano, how we feel about him. So who's the better coach? And I guess really the question will be answered because it's not just about the players, but it's the tactics. Who makes the adjustments in this next game? I think BJ's probably the better coach, but we probably have the better players.
But that's the thing about us. We've got the players that'll make it change. But if we're playing in our, if the other team's pressing on our defenders, we're in trouble. They could win. But if it's the other way around, if they let us keep the ball, and we're in possession, we've got the greatest chance of winning. So it's still the same problem we've had since Inter Miami was created. Our defense has always sucked.
Right. So Tank says, oops, by far, BJ by far. One World says he's okay, but probably about similar to Mascherano. I think BJ's better. Would he be a better coach with our team? I don't know if I'd go do that. If we're, I'm not saying he's the better coach for us per se, because with all our South Americans and stuff like that, you probably need somebody that they can relate to. But just by like, who's gonna watch the tape over and over and over again and adjust their tactics? I mean, it's pretty simple when it comes against us. Like you mentioned, Ed, is those quick attacks. You just come at us fast and counterattack us quickly, and we're susceptible. And again, if they had their shooting boots on in those first half, they would have scored like 5 goals. So we could be looking at it. Okay, here's the thought I was having actually during the game, because I was watching the game, and I was like on the MLS app looking at the live standings. So at one point, we were losing, right? I think it was 2-1 at one point. And I think it was, right? Wasn't it? Or was it tied? I don't know. It was one of those two. My memory sucks. But it showed that Nashville had moved up out of that 6th spot for a moment, right? And so that meant we were playing New York City.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to myself, would I rather play Nashville or would I rather play New York City? What would you, if the situation was, as we're playing the game, what would you think? Which team would you have rather played?
I think I would have rather played New York City. I think we got a better chance against them. Nashville, they had a bad game, but they could have destroyed us in that first half if their pointing was better. If our goalkeeper sucked a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, and look, they've got the number 3 person in the Golden Boot race. I mean, they, dude can shoot, right? So he could definitely, score, no problems there. And I was kind of thinking the same thing as I saw that. I was like, I think maybe I'd prefer to play New York, but we suck on baseball fields. Now we've only, memory serves, we've only beat New York on a baseball field once, and that was this year. That was recently we did it. I think it was at Citi Field, which is a slightly bigger baseball field. But
yeah,
we're terrible in the baseball field. So in that situation, we're potentially winning at home, losing on the road, and then winning at home again. Whereas with Nashville, at least you're playing on a proper field. So
That's true.
Yeah. So, anyways, I was just some thoughts as I'm watching the game. Tank says it might not be an easy series. No, it will not be an easy series. Facts. Definitely will not. What do you think, Ed? We're winning the series in how many games? I think Ed froze. Are we winning the series, Ed? In how many games?
Yeah, I think I'm hoping it'll be just in 2 games, Peter. I think well, we've got a good chance of winning at home, and if we could pull off another game like we did this past weekend, I think we'll be able to advance. I'm hoping so that our players will be a little rested for the following game, the following weekend.
Yeah, we definitely. Well, look, winning 5-2, you definitely proved you could beat them, right? So we could definitely do it 2 games in back to back. But my concern is that BJ Callahan figures things out a little bit, at least in the first half, and comes at us strong right out the gate, and then we basically have to kind of absorb that pressure. And then figure things out. We may be a second half team, but just I was wondering, what is our record against Nashville? Because Nashville, I've kind of made the argument a couple years ago that Nashville is our rival, not Orlando City, because we've had more meaningful games against Nashville. We came into the league together. Now, there's no real hatred amongst the two teams, so it's not a real rivalry, but in some ways it should be. Like I said, we came into the league together. We have beat Inter Miami has 7 wins, so we've beaten them 7 times. We've lost 4, and we've had 5 draws. So we definitely have the winning record against them.
That's the truth.
And like I mentioned, some of the impactful type of games that we've had against them, we played them beat them in the playoffs in 2020. Or no, we lost actually. We lost to them in the playoffs 3-0 in the first game in the playoffs, and then and we played them in the Open Cup, and we beat them in the Open Cup. We beat them in the League's Cup final, where that's when we won our first trophy, and we beat them there. Then also we've had battles, but we won the aggregate in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, so we tied them and then beat them. So we've had some really meaningful games against Nashville so
there is history there. So
yes,
yeah. In my opinion, I think we would had a better chance with New York City. But like you said, the baseball field is something to be concerned with. So I mean, we got to just come out and try to beat these guys in 2 games, man. I wish it was just 1 game. I think we would have them in 1 game, but 2, it's tough, man. Winning 2 back to back.
Yeah. It's technically 3, right? Potentially 3.
Yeah.
Well, also just about that, as far as we do know when the schedule is. So we've got the the schedule here. So the first game is on this upcoming Friday. So I think the last year when our first game in the playoffs was, I think, also on a Friday. So we got a Friday game.
Yeah.
And this is I'm really happy about the next game. So I thought what they would do, like a Friday game, then play a Wednesday, then play a Saturday or Sunday, right? I thought that they would try to go through the first round quickly, but we're not. We're only playing more or less on the weekends. So Friday to me counts as a week. Yeah, it's really, personally, Ed, it's good for me because Friday, no problem. I can make that game. Saturday, November 1st, I will be, well, you know where. I will be in Disney. And so,
oh, goodness.
Well, it's my daughter's 21st birthday, right? So she wants to go to Disney and drink around the world in Epcot. Yeah, so I can't miss that. So, but I'm lucky because it's not a home game; it's an away game. No big deal. So And then Saturday, November 8th is potentially the final game. So hopefully, like you're saying, we could beat them in 2, and then we are resting on November 8th. Right? So that's obviously what we're going for there and hoping for. But it's also good that they didn't squeeze everything into like a week and a half, because our old guys need some rest.
Yeah, true.
All right. Thought you were going to give me more than that, Ed.
Oh no, sorry, man. I keep breaking up, so I'm
all right. Yeah, that's fine. Technical difficulties.
It wouldn't.
Yeah. Let me see. What is a new Weissman from Atlanta saying? Had y'all complained about how bad the first round matches are? Inter Miami on Friday, no games Saturday, games on Sunday during the NFL season. Well, no, I didn't notice that, actually. I only really focused on my team, and it's a Friday. I didn't realize there's no games on the Saturday.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But on Sundays when American football is playing, that's terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, does it really make a difference?
No, probably not.
Because I think those days of like you having to worry about competing against American football, I don't know. I feel like to some extent, if you're a soccer fan, you're a soccer fan, right? I mean, you could be both. Obviously, some of you people, and I saw somebody complaining about the Dolphins losing. Oh, they got spanked by another bad team. So you can support both. But I mean, if you're a soccer fan, you're going to the playoff game or you're watching the playoff game, right? And so it makes sense. I don't know how big of an impact it really has these days. I mean, we'll find out in the near future when they go a little more head to head during the regular season, if and when MLS changes their schedule, because they flip the schedule to the European calendar. So that you'd have more MLS games going up against NFL games, but at least it wouldn't be the important MLS games. Right now, that's the conversation, is the important MLS games are going up against NFL games. I don't know. I just wonder how much of an impact it really has. I don't know. These days, I mean, I know it used to have an impact in those days. But anyways. Eric is saying, as far as moving on, not sure we could beat Cincinnati at TQL Park. Very few Miami fans show up, and Cincinnati, regardless of their form, tends to step up to beat us. They all want the smoke from Inter Miami. So talking about the matchups. So this first on our side of the bracket here, the eastern side. I mean, look, that's a pretty good top, starting at the top. FC Cincinnati versus Columbus. I mean, if you're MLS, I think you're pretty happy about that. Hell is real derby happening in the first round of the playoffs. I think that gets a lot of attention. Kevin Gonzalez thinks that Columbus will win Hell is Real over FC Cincinnati. Wow. Columbus has not had the kind of season this year that they've had in years past. FC Cincinnati seems to be a little stronger.
But that's pretty bold to think that Columbus could beat them. I think we have a better chance against Columbus if they beat them, if they pass the first round. So I'm hoping for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, my prediction has been we make it to the second round and we lose, right? I'm hopeful that we make it all the way to MLS Cup, but my true, realist expectation is we probably go up against FC Cincinnati, and I agree with Eric in that we probably lose that, but you never know. At that point, it is just a one game, right? It's I'm pretty sure it's all one game after the first round.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting, Peter. And Philadelphia gets to go against whoever wins between Chicago and Orlando. I kind of think that Chicago's got a better chance of winning that one.
Orlando is tanking at this time of year. They started off the season good. I mean, they spanked us. That game that I went to in Orlando, I think I don't remember. It was like 4-0 or something. They beat us bad, or 5-0. I don't remember exactly, but it was bad. Orlando, it seems like they used everything they had. They used it up already. They are in a downward spiral right now. And I do think, and I said this a couple times recently since we played Chicago, I think they're moving in the right direction. I think Berhalter has them moving in the right direction. I think, in another year or two, they could potentially be really good. But I think, I would pick Chicago over Orlando for sure. And then, of course, I still think Philadelphia beats Chicago in that situation. But but we skipped over Charlotte versus New York. Who would you pick in that one?
That's going to be a tough one, man. That one's a toss up for me, Peter. Couldn't tell you which one's better, which one's worse. What are your thoughts?
I think Charlotte wins, but I think it goes all three. It goes to three. Damian Guzman is saying if we win, we would play Charlotte or New York. I mean, that's not the way this map shows, so I don't think you're accurate.
We're gonna play Columbus.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
Yeah, it shows we're moving up to face the winner of Columbus versus Cincinnati, and then the West. I mean, so it's and I think it was Kevin Gonzalez earlier mentioned that because FC Dallas beat Vancouver, they did us a favor that if for some reason we make it all the way to the final, we are hosting MLS Cup.
Well, that's good. Because I think of the points. We ended up, third?
So how amazing would that be to send, you're sending Chase Stadium off to pasture with an MLS Cup? I mean, that would be pretty amazing if we want to dream.
Yeah, definitely think that would be incredible. So, what do you think? The Whitecaps against Dallas?
Oh, Whitecaps, easy. Dallas is just lucky they got there. Hey, look, for Dallas, look, I kind of watched Dallas a little bit. They're on the West Coast. That's the team I kind of follow a little bit because when we didn't have an MLS team, I almost moved to Dallas at one point, and so I went house hunting there and stuff like that, and the houses were so much cheaper back then there. Wow. Yeah. You could have bought like a nice, good size 3-bedroom house for like $140,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Awesome. In Frisco, specifically where the FC Dallas play. I was looking in that area. Very nice. But so anyways, they became the team that I watch a little bit. And they're always just mediocre to bad. So this is a good year for them, just getting in. So all right. So then you met. So I think you agree with me, right? Vancouver wins that one.
Totally. Yeah. Vancouver should get that one.
Then we got LA versus Austin. I'd say LA easily wins that.
Yeah, they got Bouanga, they got Son. They're just, dude, they're on fire right now. They got good form. They could make it all the way to the end, man. That's just, I could see them facing San Diego in the end in the Western Conference.
Right, and so before we get to that, though, you've got Minnesota versus Seattle. I don't really know enough about each team this year. I haven't watched either team that much. I could say Seattle, but I'm saying Seattle based on their coach, based on the fact that they did well in what tournament did we play them in? Champions Cup?
Oh, they beat us. Yeah,
right. Was it Champions Cup?
Yeah, I forget.
It was CONCACAF Champions Cup or something, or was it Leagues Cup? I don't remember. They beat us though, right? I just didn't remember which tournament it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, I should say Seattle, but I've only really watched them when they played us. So and the same thing when it comes to Minnesota, I haven't really followed them or watched them. So I don't know. That's a toss up. Yeah. But just because Seattle beat us, I go Seattle wins.
Yeah, and I think the next match. It will, they won't be able to go again. Like San Diego's, they're playing between Timbers and the winner between the Timbers and Real Salt Lake. I don't think they'll have too much of difficulty going against any of those two teams, man. I think San Diego will advance easily. Then advance against Seattle or Minnesota, the winner of those guys.
And Real Salt Lake, I think, probably beats the Timbers. And they've looked pretty good at times. Even though their record is 9th, but I at the same time I can't help but root for our old coach Phil Neville. I know a lot of people didn't like him. I didn't like him as our coach, but I like him as a person. I like him. I like that he was always, he takes accountability, takes blame, all that kind of stuff. I like him. And so I would root for Timbers to win in that wild card game against Real Salt Lake, but it's probably, I think probably Real Salt Lake wins. And then they lose to, like you said, San Diego. And yeah, I think it could be interesting seeing a San Diego versus Vancouver semifinal. And then I don't know who, it's just whoever has the better day, they make it to the cup.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. But I actually think LAFC's got a chance against Vancouver. They're pretty hot right now, so it'll be interesting. That'd be a good match.
Yeah, it would be fun. That would definitely be a fun game for sure. Francisco Garcia saying that Silvetti subbed in to save Argentina. So Silvetti has had a good tournament, right? So when we get back to our port, he should be coming back soon. I don't know if he comes right back into the lineup and he's playing against Nashville and things like that, but he so far has been a pretty good pickup and has looked pretty good. So he should definitely help us in the playoffs. It's kind of like we got him at a good time. It's always like you always want to own the player at these tournament times, right? Because if they have a good tournament, right, then their value goes way up. I saw in the chat also that somebody is saying that there's rumors out there that Frey may get sold to a team in Europe.
He's definitely good enough, man. We got some good young players. I'd hate to see him go, but it would be good for his career. Look at Gromowski doing very well, with the U.S. men's national team, the under-20s. He's probably going to get a chance with Parma in Italy. So we'll see how it goes, man.
Yeah, the Frey. It looks like I was looking at my spreadsheet, and it doesn't look like we've renewed Frey yet. I don't remember.
Dangerous.
Was there a report out there about Frey renewing? I don't think so, because I didn't update my spreadsheet, and I'm pretty good about updating it. Like, I updated the fact that we re-signed David Ruiz, but I don't think we've re-signed Frey. And so his contract ends in 2025. So smart move would be re-sign him real fast and then make money and sell him. I never have a problem. Some people talk about, hey, when these young players when they sign a new contract, or any of our players, a lot of times when they sign a new contract, that's kind of like the nail in their coffin. Like we're going to get rid of them, and I have no problem with that as long as you're making money, right? Because that's what all these players want to go to Europe and play someday, and so selling players to Europe is a great thing, and they'll make money on that. When they sell a player to, say, Charlotte for $150,000 in GAM, or when you send somebody to Austin and for like 300 GAM or something like that, that sucks. But selling them to Europe is the way to go. Francisco says, I don't think Mascherano will start Silvetti. Well, he has started him. He started some games, but I don't know if will he start him right from coming back, because things are, you could look at, as the coach, you could look at it as like, I don't want to upset the apple cart. Things are working. I don't want to upset what's working.
Agree. Yeah, everything's working right now. He's better off as a sub.
Yeah. Eric confirming we have not renewed Frey, and we better get started. Yeah, you want to renew him and then sell him. Same thing. There was a lot of rumors that David Ruiz was going to be moving on too. So that was a smart business move. You re-sign him. I don't know what his salary is now with the re-sign, because that hasn't been publicized yet. But previously, before signing that new contract, he was making $106,000. So, what do they do when they re-sign him? Maybe give him a
300.
Do you think they triple his salary? I was going to go double.
Yeah,
he hasn't played enough to triple his salary.
Well, if he was probably, I don't know, man. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either. I'm just looking at it like, okay, I'm your boss. I'm looking at what you've done this for me. What have you done for me? And
Yeah.
you know, we're a meritocracy. These are all words we use at my company. Uh, we're a meritocracy, and so you know, he hasn't played enough this year to me to triple his salary. But you know, if that's what it takes to keep him, so that you could sell him for $1 million, then sure, or 2 million, or whatever we sell him for, whatever they sell him for. Then that makes sense. And same thing would apply for Frey. Frey's currently making 150,000. For him, you at least double it, if not more. Frey has played enough and has shown his value to this team. I mean, when he came in the second half of this Nashville game, he instantly made an impact. Whereas, you know, Cello, on the other hand, not so much. So Frey made an instant impact when he came in that game. So yeah, going back to, you know, salaries, he should get a bigger raise. I think Ed's frozen again. People in the chat conversing. I think it's Frey, Frey. I always get that wrong. Frey. It is. Let's look it up. We can look it up and for funsies right here. Let's find Frey and see how to spell his name properly. There we go. It's F-R-A-Y. So that is the proper way of spelling it, folks. So if everybody seems to get it wrong, it's F-R-A-Y. Get my Coconut Creek guy's name right, folks. All right. Hey, well, while we're staring at a frozen Ed, let's listen to a voicemail.
It's time for your voicemail. Hello.
What's up, mi gente? It's your boy Yankee Yank. Got a lot of bullet points to hit, so let me get started. First off, mad shout out to One World, One Goal, First Lady of NASCAR, First Lady of Miami Area Soccer, and Mr. Diego Sierra. Secondly, OG, Mr. Wiseman from the ATL. Brother, got nothing but mad love for you. I consider you now to be an OG as well, and you don't have to send me a thank you card for my tragic DC United finishing at the bottom of the Eastern Conference so that you guys wouldn't be very bottom. Misery loves company, brother. Hang in there. Let's see what the new year brings for you. Pete, Ed, honored, humbled that I would not only get offered a couch, I would get offered the guest room. Thank you so much, my brothers. You know how far back we go. The game, the match between Puerto Rico and Argentina, the truth is I'm not even upset about the score. The most important thing about that match was for some of our guys to get some looks, and some of them showed some moments, and apparently their stock has gone up a little bit. But, I mean, we took a guy who's coming off the bench in the Puerto Rican First Division, all credit to Antonetti, a guy playing in the Spanish Third Division right now, some USL Championship guys, some USL League One guys, and we did the best we could with some guys who are unattached. So, now, segueing, congratulations on the great run for Inter Miami. At the end of the story, you guys still almost came in first with all the matches that you had to play. Your offense is exactly what you would expect for all the money that's been invested in it, just miles beyond anybody else in the league. So again, while I don't like your club, I love you all, and I always render unto Caesars that which is Caesar's. Good luck to y'all in the playoff. Holler at you later, players.
Thank you, Yankee boy. And you've got my number, and anytime, not just this number, but my personal number, anytime you are in town, you got a guest room right here, no problems. And I point right there because it's literally right there. We'll kick my wife out of her office and give you the guest room because the guest room is also her office. But we'll kick her out. What's no big deal. But thanks for the love there, Yankee. And I love the fact that we've got these guys that watch us, listen to us. We're a part of us in some form or fashion. Yankee Boy used to have a little segment on our audio only show, and they love to mention how they dislike our teams, but they like us. They like South Florida, but they always want to put in the fact that I don't like your team. And I like I said to Anu Weissman, he secretly loves South Florida. You know, he secretly loves it down here. And if he was down here,
he likes coming down here.
Yeah, and if he was down here enough, you know, we could get him in pink. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we can.
I don't know about Yankee Boy. Yankee Boy, you know, I don't know if we could get him in pink or anything, but you know, Eric Thomas saying Yankee Boy with a biblical reference in the end, and then drops the mic. There you go. He's always profound, and so. Anyways, comments in the chat I saw when we were just talking about Silvetti a little bit ago. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs says, don't throw Silvetti into the fire by starting him in a playoff game. I wouldn't start him in the first playoff game, but you know, this coach does dumb stuff. I knew Weissman says, stop.
Get him in trouble, Peter.
Yep, gonna get him in trouble.
It's the Atlanta Bros, yeah.
Yeah. There wasn't another.
It doesn't sound like a no, though.
No, here, listen to this. I'd rather be a Miami FC fan before Inter Miami. Why is that, Anu? See, everybody feels like, oh, we're the evil corporation, you know, and but like I said to Anu when he was here, that everybody hates us, but if any of those teams that these other people support had the opportunity to pull in a player like Messi, who then, because you have that player, gives you the opportunity to get other players that are his friends for a discounted rate, any team would have done the same deal, and you would be considered the villain, and you'd be happy to be the villain, right? So it's just jealousy. At the end of the day, it's just jealousy. But Miami FC, yeah. I mean, I hey, support them. Why not? They need every fan they can get, and I'm not saying fans. They're counting them on the one hand. They need every fan they can get. Luckily, they're doing some good things in building a stadium and the big academy project that they're going to be working on. So that's all positive. But they need to put some butts in seats. And, you know, I was watching some USL games recently, and I don't understand how some of these teams stay in business, whether it be the women's league that I like to talk about from time to time, the Super League where Fort Lauderdale United play, and nobody goes to the games. And it's not just Fort Lauderdale United. I was watching, they were playing in, I think, Lexington. I was watching that game, yeah. And Lexington has their own soccer-specific stadium they built. So it's pretty nice. It's cool to see now USL clubs starting to build their own stadiums the way MLS clubs have. But still, nobody really goes, except for some cities like Louisville. They pack it in. But it's just interesting to me, a little tangent. But, you know, as I'm watching, you know, I like to watch those lower division games myself. So, yeah, like here, Anu. This is basically the conversation we had. If Messi came to Atlanta, then I'll embrace the villainy. Exactly. You may not always like all the decisions your team makes. Like, you know, I was talking about this with my wife today. And, you know, on this show, constantly I'm saying that Inter Miami is really more of a t-shirt company than they are a soccer team, more than they are about winning championships. They're more about selling sponsorships, tickets, t-shirts, right? They're more of a t-shirt team. And once you come to that realization, once you realize what they are, then, your expectations, of course, you still want to win championships. But then when somebody, for example, says, oh, if they bring Neymar, it will be a disaster. Once you realize you're a t-shirt company, you can embrace the disaster and say, let's go. It's going to be a fun ride.
Mm-hmm. It's
and
all
that's
about
us.
the dead presidents, Peter Brown. Yeah.
As far as Miami FC, One World, One Goal says it's a tax loss offset, Peter. I think some big biz. I've often thought that Ricardo Silva, the owner, must be getting some tax breaks on that. Yeah, you may be right. I agree that that's probably a big thing. Louis Rodriguez says there's a Port St. Lucie Stadium in the works. Yes, there is. And the funny thing is with these USL clubs, if you follow any of this, and I don't know if this pops up in your feed, Ed, because I don't know if you follow any of the lower divisions, but it pops up in my social media feed all the time, anytime one of these things happen. And every other day now, it seems that there is a USL level brand new stadium being built. And I don't believe that they're all going to get done. It just feels like everyone in and some of these are League One teams. League One is not filling any stadium really, unless Naples did pretty good. But I'll be interested to see how many of these get done. But it seems like there's a belief that a lot of these new lower division owners are basically the same people that believed in AAA baseball and how there were so many AAA baseball stadiums all across the country. And a lot of soccer teams use those stadiums, like Tulsa does, Tampa does. But these are the same group of people that look at it like, oh, I could build a soccer stadium. I could call it a mixed-use development, which is the same thing Inter Miami is doing. It's a mixed-use development. And then it's a land deal. And really, in a big picture, USL is really just a real estate company at the end of the day. If you look at it that way, they're really just their guy that's ahead of expansion is a realtor.
That's what they are.
For real. But I mean, he really is a realtor. The guy that's head of their expansion. So it's interesting. I don't know. I find all that stuff extremely interesting. Anu Weissman saying morning kick around is covered. A lot of these new stadiums being built. Yeah, I watch those guys from time to time. I like them. But yeah, every other day on my Twitter feed or my Facebook feed, I see a new stadium being built, and potentially. But we'll see if they actually do get built. It'll be interesting to see if there's in Port St. Lucie, the one they're talking about, it's going to be a USL League One, and then I think a Super League team. They're playing first. They'll start off with a men's League One team, and then potentially right after that start a Super League team, so the women as well.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. What else is on your mind, Ed? What did we miss?
Well, Peter, no, I'm just looking forward to the Nashville game that's coming up. I think we got a good chance of advancing from that first round. I hope we do. Hopefully it won't be 2 years in a row that we lose in the first round. But it'll be interesting to see if we can get to that second round. That would be a victory for us. And like you said, Mascherano might keep his job because he's improving from last year. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I would love to see us go all the way to the final because of Busquets and Alba, but I don't know if they've got the legs for it, and I don't think we've got the defense for it. So we will score many goals, but they might score more than us. So.
Yeah, I agree.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a tough playoff series, but I think we can win it, and then we'll see what happens in the next round. But I'll see what happens.
I'm happy. Sorry, Peter. I was going to say I'm happy because Leo Messi got the Golden Boot. He was just on fire, had that hat trick, and made some space between him and number 2.
A big, I think it was like 4 or 5 goals space between him and Boanga. So yeah, he definitely he ran away with it, and he's basically wrapped up the MLS MVP award. So back-to-back MVPs, and it's never been done before. So that's
Messi,
yeah. Yeah. Hey, the chat went off on this women's thing. Let's finish up a little bit with the women. That says that Louis is saying we need a women's WSL for Inter Miami, USL. I don't think that would happen. There's if it's going to happen, it's going to be NWSL, not USL. There's still beef between MLS and USL, so there's that.
It seems MLS has beef with everybody. Remember the NASL beef that they had, and they were united with the USL, and then now they're against each other. And then same thing with Nice. There was some biting. I mean, biting maybe too with Suarez was involved.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, tough.
Yeah.
Tough
Anu is saying that the Fort Lauderdale women's team, Fort Lauderdale United, should move up to Lockhart to fill the void, or Inter Miami sets up for NWSL. Well, they don't need to move to Lockhart to fill the void. They've got their own stadium, and it's nice, and it fits 7,000 people. So right now, that team would look ridiculous in a 20,000 seat stadium. So, eventually, would it be nice if they could move up to that? But that's years down the line. So it's really probably a better idea to for you to wait for an NWSL team if that's what you're really looking for that stadium to fill up Lockhart or Chase Stadium. So I love the fact that we've got Anu calling it Lockhart. Somebody from out of the area. So,
buy that T-shirt. We can still call it Lockhart.
I'm not even. There's a comment here. I'm not even going to acknowledge. Actually, talking about women, I'm supposed to be. I'm waiting for some confirmation, but I'm supposed to be going to a women's sports event on Tuesday, Ed. I was invited by Fort Lauderdale United to go to this women's, conference type of thing where they're going to have the coach speak and some other women of sports, specifically, I think soccer mostly, talking. And so I'll be, potentially doing a video on that, assuming if I go. Like I said, I'm waiting for confirmation, but, so we may have a video for more women's sports coming up on this channel. So Ed, you were off filming something today.
I sure was, Peter, and thanks to due to popular demand, I made a video. I'm editing it right now for the stadium. Man, it's looking good. You guys are gonna love it because they're not just building the stadium. They're building that city of Miami building. They're building those parking structures. They're building. There's all sorts of stuff going on out there, man. It's all over the grounds there, man. You've got tons of equipment, tons of pipes, tons of workers. I mean, they were working today. I filmed it today, and people were still working. So
Nice.
Wow, Peter, it's incredible everything that's going on over there. They still got some work to do on the stadium, though. But man, the way it's looking, I think they'll be able to make it.
That's great news. So that'll be up this week, in the next day or two, right? As soon as you can get that edited.
Got the Spanish show is coming up too. We're coming back strong. So you guys got to check that out if you want the same stuff, but in Espanol.
There you
Marco
go.
El Oso Donoso, Mr. Don Bear himself.
All right. Mr. Crab says, yay, more stadium updates. Yeah, we're a little bit late on this one. Our schedules, it was tough to get it done, but Ed got it done. So great work there. So that's good. And it should start, we're at that point where we should start seeing it really, it gets to a point in these stadiums where it doesn't look like anything's happening. And then all of a sudden overnight, it's like, oh my God, we got a stadium. Like you start seeing roads getting filled in and parking and then, and the roof, and you start seeing all the finishing touches. So that should start happening soon in the next few 5 months or so. So that'll be really
and
good
I got
to watch.
all sorts of angles, Peter. I went, I was jaywalking. I was, jumping over fences and, all sorts of stuff, man, until they told me I couldn't go anymore. Fortunately, they gave me, thumbs ups and stuff, but they didn't let me go all the way in. But I got a lot of film.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
All
should
right.
be
So
good.
good stuff to look forward to here on this channel this week. So that's about it for tonight. But you guys are still chatting in the in chat room. So we obviously have a lot more to talk about. We could keep going, but we're not. We got we'll save up some more of this conversation for next week, or for if you want. A lot of you guys speak Spanish, so you could continue this conversation with Ed when he does the Spanish show. So see you later, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time. See you, everybody.